I didn't delete social media because I hated it. I deleted it because it was taking up more of my life than I was comfortable with. At times, it felt constant. I'd look up and realise I was on my phone again, and that bothered me. I started wondering why it felt so automatic. Most of the time, I didn't expect anything interesting, but I'd reach for it anyway. And once the screen was on, I'd stay, sometimes for a few minutes, sometimes a lot longer than I meant to. That's when I realised it wasn't really a choice anymore. So I decided to have a break, just long enough to see what would happen. I gave it 7 days, no checking what everyone else was doing, no scrolling, just to fill the time. What would that actually feel like? The first thing I noticed wasn't boredom. It was how often I reached for the phone. Sometimes I'd catch myself halfway, sometimes not, but then I'd remember. That was different. It wasn't dramatic, just uncomfortable. The urge didn't disappear, it hovered, a small familiar pull, and instead of following it, I had to pause. That pause felt longer than I expected. Ordinary moments felt harder to sit with. I'd shift in my seat, open something else, look for something, anything, to shift the moment. That's when I realised it wasn't the content I missed, it was the escape. The brief relief of not having to sit with whatever I was feeling. Without that distraction, I had to deal with it. At first, that was uncomfortable, but by the 3rd or 4th day, something subtle changed. The urge still showed up, but it didn't feel as urgent. If I didn't act on it, it passed. Not instantly, but it did pass. And in that waiting, I noticed something else. Nothing about the world had changed. The apps were still there, the phone still worked, but the reflex wasn't invisible anymore. There was space, not much, just enough. Enough to notice, enough to pause. And maybe that's where choice really begins.